Hey guys, so today we're gonna do just a quick little warm up to warm up the body, whether you wanna do it before you're getting ready to go out for cardio or do a workout. This will be a really great way to center yourself, but then also stretch and open up the body a little bit and kind of get things moving. I will be doing, over the course of the next few weeks, rolling out some asana tutorials, just quick tutorials on some of the different asanas, giving you, how to get into the poses safely, transitions, modifications, advancements. That way, kind of giving you guys a little bit more confidence, whether if you want to practice on your own at home sometimes, or go into feeling more confident going into a studio. Hopefully some of these tutorials will kind of help you with that. But even if you do any of those tutorials, it is smart to go ahead and warm up the body first. So we're gonna kind of start that here. So we're actually gonna start in child's pose. And if you have, blocks are a really great prop to have, as well as straps. So I'll kind of be using those and talking to some of those points as we go along. So we're gonna start in child's pose, and a couple different ways that you can find your child's pose. Your knees can be out nice and wide, you can sink your hips back. Maybe walk the fingertips forward and bow the forehead down. Or you can maybe take the knees in a little closer, hands back by your sides, a little more of a restorative child's pose. One of my favorite variations is actually using the blocks, taking them about shoulder distance on the lowest level, and then walking them out to where maybe your elbows and forearms rest into the blocks, and the fingertips can dangle off, or you can put your fingertips on them. And just kind of wherever you decide to go to, let the heart melt down towards the earth. Just allow yourself to surrender for a few moments and take a few breaths, natural breaths, to just start to exploring your internal body, right? Noticing where you might feel a little sticky inside. Just dropping into the lower body and less out of the mind. And then take 3 deep resetting breaths here. Full inhale. Open up the mouth, exhale, release it. 2 more just like that. Inhale. Notice how the belly starts to puff out, the backs of the ribs expand, and then exhaling to release. 1 more, inhale. And exhale. Bending at the elbows, maybe bringing all 10 fingertips to press and the thumbs pressed to the back of the neck. Even walking the elbows out a little bit further kind of gives a little bit more access and sensation into the into the triceps. And I want you to continue the breath, but this time inhaling and exhaling in and out through the nose, starting to create more of a soothing sounding breath, ocean-like sounding breath. Trying to see if you can direct that breath deep into the belly. Exercising and massaging and strengthening our diaphragm, which is just simply another muscle of the body, but a very, very important one. Not only does the breath center you, but it starts to help to regulate your nervous system. And if you would like, this is a perfect opportunity to call to mind an intention, or maybe a mantra or an affirmation. Something to come back to when the mind starts to wander. Draw it back in, rein it back in with the breath and with your intention. And then release the fingertips to the top of the mat. If you have the blocks, go ahead and remove them, but keep them close by. And then we'll inhale, walk those fingertips over to the right. Bow down as you draw back on the left hip, and breathe into the left side, into those left intercostal muscles, the muscles surrounding the ribs. Maybe nod the head yes, shake the head no. Just explore breath to movement, little subtle movements at first. Inhale back to center, taking it over to the left. How does the right side feel in comparison to the left?
On the inhale, come back to center, and then we will lift up onto all fours, walking the hands under those shoulders, walking the knees under the hips, wiggle out the hips a little bit, maybe even lifting your ankles and shins and just kind of sway the knees from side to side. We're gonna give our knees a little bit of a reprieve, so let's step back with both of your feet coming into a plank pose, and just start to rock forwards and backwards a couple of times, just pressing forward and then pressing back through those heels and Achilles. And then lifting the hips up and back, just coming into that upside down V or downward facing dog. Take a few moments here and explore how it feels to have your head below your heart. Maybe you want to get heavier with the head, nod it yes, shake it no, release some tension there. Shrug the shoulders maybe a couple of times. And then I really think it's super important to wake up the arches of the feet. There's a lot of muscle fascia there, so maybe lifting both heels, dropping one heel down and pressing through that opposite ball of the foot deeply, and then starting to go from side to side. And then you can also maybe let the heels fall to the earth, point one foot, take the top of the foot to the earth, and just feel the stretch through the front of that ankle and top of the foot. Not an area that we tend to stretch too much. And then take it to the other side. And then coming back to center. Now, one thing in our downward facing dog, there's a lot of times I see where people just kind of melt back like so much that they tend to hyperextend the elbows. But if you can ground down through the fingertip pads, you'll feel a sense of hollowing out through the underarm, and you'll bring a little bit more action into the arms. So strengthening the arms while also stretching them out. Then on the next inhale, lift the heels, come back to a tabletop position. Sliding the left knee a little bit more into the center of the body and reach that right leg straight back behind you. Okay, so feel that right hip draw down, the belly is engaged, the arms are strong. Okay. And then bending into that right knee, and then just start to circle that right thigh bone around, about 3, one direction. Try not to move the whole body, just the thigh bone in the hip, 3, reverse your circles, 2, and 1, extend the leg back out, and then place it to the back left corner of the mat and look over that shoulder. So you're looking over the left for your right foot. That right shoulder is kind of dropping down a little bit. And then we're gonna come back to that 3 tabletop, reaching that right leg back, straight back behind you. Engage the belly. Then as you exhale, draw that right knee towards your right tricep and just float it to the top of your mat. You can walk your hands along with you. You can pull your heart forward. So this again, if this feels a little too tight, take your blocks, one or both of them, and lift the body a little bit more, okay? So you're basically lifting the floor to you. And then you can keep your left hand down, block or floor, right arm's gonna reach up towards the sky. And then just start to circle that right arm around, about, again, 3 big circles one way, and your circles may be looking a little different. If it doesn't feel good with the arm straight, you can always bend at the elbow and still find that rotation. And then inhale, right arm will reach back up to the sky, and then back behind you, coming into a quad stretch. So bend into that left knee, heel to the glute. If it's accessible and your right hand can find your foot in space, then great, stay there. If not, keep reaching back and keep working the heel to the glute. You're still stretching the quadricep, it's just going to be a little bit more active rather than taking the bind, which is a little bit more of a passive stretch. All the while still very beneficial and super important for you to listen to your body on its limits, on its ranges, without judgment and without expectation. Slowly release. Good, and then we'll remove the blocks. We'll go ahead and tiptoe that right foot to the center of the body. Hands can stay 2 blocks, but now we're framing off that right foot. Shift the body weight back, coming into a half runner's lunge or half split, if you will. You can maybe wiggle that right heel out, pull the heart forward. I'd rather you not be like this because you're putting a lot of pressure into the low back. Pull the heart forward, even if that means bringing those blocks to the highest level, okay? Super important. Keep sliding that right hip back underneath you.
This stretch that I'm feeling right now is just as amazing as this stretch coming all the way down, right? So just as long as you're feeling sensation, you're exactly where you need to be. Okay, and then as you inhale, slowly pull the body weight forward once again, bending into the knee. Remove the blocks, tuck the back toe, and step that left foot up to meet the right. Inhale, notice how my knees are bent, halfway lift. Pull the heart forward, maybe I can straighten them here, but exhale as I bow down for my fold. Again, we don't want dangling in midair. We want hands to the earth, head hanging heavy, or blocks, right? But no rounding and too much pressure onto the low back. Keep a soft bend to the knees. And then we're gonna slowly roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Reach the arms out and up. Exhale, bring your hands into your heart space. Now you'll notice my tailbone's rooting down towards the earth. My belly is engaged. Maybe even flex the toes so you start to feel the quadriceps engage. Inhale, both arms will reach out and up. Exhale, sunburst those elbows, squeeze at the elbows, and then just kind of lift the heart. Your shoulder blades pulling in towards one another. Inhale, both arms will reach. Exhale, swan dive down. Take the bend to the knees whenever you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to plank pose, and we're just gonna do all of that on the other side. Lift the hips up first in downward facing dog. We're not gonna do any vinyasas, but I will do a tutorial how to break those out. Activate your downward facing dog. Notice where you can soften again, the head, the jaw. We feel the stretch of the back side of the body, and we feel the front, especially the quads and your hip flexors engage. And then inhale, lift the heels, come back to your tabletop, readjust the body if needed. And let's move through a few cat-cows now. On the inhale, let the belly draw down, tailbone lifts. Exhale, round. Feel the hip bones scoop forward as you feel the contraction of the front of the spine and stretch to the back of the spine. And again, inhale, moving into your cow. Compressing those kidneys. Exhale so that we can feel the release, aiding in detoxification. Good, one more time, inhale. And exhale. Come back to neutral. Take the right knee into more of the middle of the body as you extend that left leg straight on out. This is gonna kind of give you a little bit more stability. Both palms can stay down. Bend the knee, heel to glute, and just circle that left thigh bone around. Again, just letting the movement happen from the thigh bone. Not too much movement in the upper body to take that, and then take 3 more that opposite direction. As big or as little as your body will allow. Keeping your gaze down in between those hands and maybe slightly forward. Extend the leg back out, and then take it to the back right corner of your mat. Press out through the heel, and then if possible, look over your right shoulder. Notice that really beautiful stretch through the side body, the flank muscles or love handles. Inhale, slowly come back to center, engage the belly, press away. Inhale here, exhale, step the left foot forward, walk your hands forward, and again, option to grab those blocks or just keep your hands to your mat. Gently feel the heart pull forward. You'll feel a nice stretch through that right hip flexor and right thigh. And then we'll take that left arm to the sky, and then we'll just start to circle that left arm around. As big or as little as you want to, straight or bend the elbow and take the hand to the shoulder and reverse. And then as you inhale, reach that left arm back to the sky, and then we'll take it back towards your back of your mat, and then bend into that right knee. Okay, so the heel can work to the glute, or you can use a little extra with the hand to foot bind. The heart is still rotating forward. You're breathing into that right quadricep, staying rooted, staying grounded, staying connected to the breath and your intention. And then as you inhale, slowly release the hand and the foot. You're gonna take that left block onto the outside of the foot and tiptoe that left foot to the center of the body now. And then shift the body weight back, maybe bring your blocks back with you or release them. Inhale, halfway lift, pull the heart forward and left hip slides back. Exhale, gently draw down, closing the eyes. And just listening to all of the heightened sensations the body starts to signal to you. Again, you can point, flex that left foot. You can just breathe and just try to just surrender to it in stillness, letting the body just naturally open. And then we'll inhale once again, pour the body weight forward, remove the blocks, tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and step the right foot up to meet the left. Halfway lift, pull the heart forward now. Feeling your weight not rock back to your heels. Rock it forward to the balls of the feet. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Either you reverse your swan dive or roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms will reach up overhead. Bring your hands to your heart space. And that is it. Your body should be feeling really good now to go ahead and do whatever exercises or cardio or movement that you are wanting to do. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time. One love.